Hey you guys, welcome back. Today, hopefully this is a quick video. I really hope so. I just wanted to give you a quick little update on the Phalaenopsis gigantea. I don't know what's going on with it. When I got this from the Orchid show, as you know, I got this from the Orchid show, the Central Ontario Orchid Society show from Tenshin Orchids, and I believe it was imported just prior to the show. And it was abnormally cold during that time, like minus 21 Celsius, which is ridiculously cold. And it just seemed to be over that weekend that it was that cold, and then it warmed back up again. It was terrible. So I'm wondering if some of this is to do with cold shock. I'm not seeing much of the cold damage that you would normally see, but it's just really weird. The roots weren't really that great, as you can remember. If not, I will post a video to the haul video from that show, and you can see the root systems. I potted this up, and it has lost 2 leaves. This is a second leaf today. Notice it was getting this this yellowing going on, and it just came off. The new growth is not so bad, and I've repotted it in a mix of coarse bark and moss, and I let it dry out pretty well completely, and then I let the water run through it. I don't soak it. I just sit there at the sink and I let it run through until the moss is hydrated. It's not really absorbing so much that it's sopping wet, but I water it every, I'm gonna say 3 or 4 days, and so far, well, I don't know. The roots, like I said, weren't that great. They were kind of desiccated. Not looking so good, so I'm hoping that with this care it will do better. Doesn't look like I have any crown rot or anything at the moment, and like I said, this new leaf is still rather firm, but that new leaf was there when I got it. So I'll keep you updated on this one. I was really excited to get this particular plant, but it seems to be doing the worst out of the bunch. So yeah, this leaf actually is starting to look a little bit nicer. It did have a look like this, where it was very ribbed, but now it seems to be a little bit more firm and puffed up. It was like this one. Are you able to see? A little bit more lifeless. So there is that orchid. It's we'll see. Spent $40 on it, so I'm really hoping that it survives. But it is what it is. So again, I'll keep you posted on that. The other one that I wanted to show you is my terrible Ludicea discolor. Look at all of those gross leaves. I'll bring you down a little bit closer. We're going to clean this up. I'm going to remove all of the flowers now. The flowers are kind of all spent and not looking pretty. Actually, when they rub together, they make like a papery sound. So they're kind of all dead. But as you can see, the leaves are all really gross. They've all kind of died. So we're going to remove all of those. We're going to clean it up. And as you can see here, there's some new growth. And the new growth is really, really nice. So I think that it's just the life cycle of the plant. Last year it didn't die back quite so hard. This year it looks like hell. But we're going to trim it. And then once I see new growth, I'm going to be removing this large stem that trails off into nowhere, and I'm going to transplant it back in the pot. But first, let's clean it up. I'll bring you down a little bit closer. Okay, so first you want to do the sterilized scissors, and we're just going to go in and we're going to cut back all of the flower spikes. Ludicea seems to be more of a terminal spike producer, so the where the flower spike came from, it's probably not going to grow from that point anymore. It's going to branch out and come from somewhere else along the stem. So that's kind of interesting. Just remove all of these, and then we're going to remove all of the leaves. It's quite a gross looking plant at the moment. It will come back, I hope. As you can see here, there's new growth coming in right here, which has the beautiful Ludicea leaves, the beautiful coloration, nice and dark with a nice red veining. So I'm not worried per se. So I'm just going to go in and we're going to remove all of these leaves. they don't come off on their own. You can use some scissors. Ludicea, this particular one is more of a terrestrial species, but they still want to have good drainage for the root system. So I have this in a mixture of bark. Actually, I think it's cocoa coir chunks. I believe there's some bark, there's some sphagnum moss, and there is some peat moss in there as well. So it needs to drain freely, but it needs to be more like a soil than a orchid bark that you would use for, say, like a cattleya. So this also likes to be in a well lit, but kind of not full sun environment. So if it's full sun, you might want to have some shears to shelter it from the intense rays. Outside, if you grow it outside, it would like to be in a shady spot to have it do the best. Otherwise, you will burn the leaves. There's exceptions for every rule, but that's just normal culture, I guess. And what else can I say about this? I don't know. I can't. I'm losing my train of thought. I'm deep into to just maintaining this at the moment. Trying to think of what I missed telling you about. Temperatures, it likes it warm, regular house temperatures. Flowering time is in the spring, generally. I'm sure you might get a flower produced off that time frame, but usually for me, every spring it starts to produce it, whether the plant is really happy or not. So that's good. And yeah. So this plant is pretty well cleaned up. Like I said, in a few weeks' time, when I see more growth coming, I will snip this one back in particular. I might make a few cuttings and plant them back in. I'd like to have this a really, really full pot and just trail over evenly, kind of like this side is doing. I like that look, but I want to have more leaves. I want it so that you can't really see the soil down below. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. Maybe your Ludicea is doing the same thing. I'd love to hear about it. So anyway, show me some pictures on the PlantzNThings What's Growing page, or perhaps Instagram is more your thing. Tag me in on a photo, and I would love to see it. Hashtag PlantzNThings. Anyway, until next time, happy growing, everyone. And the roots are looking lovely. Let's just stick that back in there. But can you see the roots? Oh my god. The root development is beautiful. Let me just try to spin this back in here.